everyone, Casper here, Casper for Colorado, and in Casper's back seat. You know, in the evening I get to drive around and drive for Uber and Lyft at night, and I get to talk to my constituents. But during the day, I like to talk to movers and shakers here in Colorado, and I have an awesome mover and shaker right here in the back seat, Mr. Bruce Cairns. Bruce is a former state senator in Colorado, and he was out helping me today at the catered sit-in. But I get a chance to talk to Bruce. Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
You know, I have a simple question I ask everybody, and that question is, if you were king for a day, what would you want to change? What would you wave your magic wand and change?
You know, it's kind of interesting. I thought about that a little bit when you said the question, and I really wouldn't want to be king for a day because our country was formed on not having a king for a day.
Right.
They turned around and said, no, we're going to trust God, number one, because, of course, if you know the historical context of America, there were two revivals, as they call them,
Right.
where people had really embraced Christianity before our country was founded, which gave them an individual basis and a relationship to God and made them accountable before God.
Right.
Therefore, they could be free.
Right.
So we really have these constitutional roots that are based in biblical principles. And so really the question is the principles, because no one man can really be trusted, whether it's one of the greatest presidents we've had, past, present, or future, whether it's a good or bad candidate right now.
Right.
We have to have that limitation of government, and we have the powers of Congress, which theoretically can stop spending by an out-of-control bureaucracy.
Right.
It can stop the courts by impeaching them from doing outrageous things. People have lost sight of what it really is, and in some ways they are looking for a king. There's a verse in Samuel, can't give you the verse and chapter, but it's in Samuel. The people were begging for a king. They said,
Right.
oh, you want a king? He's going to take your horses, he's going to take your lands, he's going to take your crops. Fine, you want a king? That's what you can have.
Yeah.
And of course, they ended up finally being deported. So
Right.
a lot of good a king did them. So I might have taken a different direction than your question usually takes.
No,
but
no,
it's
it's
really a great question. Thanks.
There's no right or wrong answer, and I get different responses regardless. But the folks that understand the Constitution, like yourself, John Andrews, I interviewed him a couple weeks ago, and he said, you know, what I want people to do as king is follow the Constitution, and then I'm gonna step down.
Right.
Because if they do that, then we'd be fine.
I'll abdicate the throne.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know, just like George Washington did, because they asked him to be king too.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. He said, no.
And set the precedent of only 2 terms
Right, right.
and no foreign entanglements. How's
Right.
that worked out?
Exactly. Now, as a former state senator, you took an oath, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all political Congress people, senators, and even the president, take an oath to defend the Constitution. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
And it seems like to me, anyway, that as soon as they get in office, and sometimes it doesn't matter what party they're part of, it seems like they do everything they can to get around the Constitution. What is up with that?
Yeah, well, it seems like so people come to them in government and they whine and complain, and I don't know if you can see hand motions, but I describe, some people ask me, what's it like being in the legislature? And I do this. And it means that people are always coming and asking for something.
Yeah.
People want to be nice,
Right.
especially Republicans. A lot of them are very nice. The other side of the coin, of course, is where a lot of financial support comes from, and you have to ascertain how much you're going to vote for principle versus the financial support.
Right.
Now, often financial support for conservatives comes from big groups that really believe in either right to life or right to gun, lower taxes, less regulations. So you might be energy-oriented, supported by energy types of contributions, but it's because you believe in the free market and that using hydrocarbons has made this world a better place, and it's certainly made a development of America, which is just unfathomable in the last 150 years.
Right, right. But what's happening now, it seems like we're in a decline, and I think it's that king syndrome. Everybody wants a handout and help and this, that, and the other. I was talking with Kim Munson earlier, and it's funny because people in the community, they complain about the man, and for me, the man is the government.
Right.
They complain about the man holding them down, but yet they want that same man to help them up, and that's not going to happen. If the man is the one holding you down, he is not going to be the one that lifts you up.
Well, that's been eloquently penned by Star Parker,
Uh-huh.
where she's written Uncle Sam's Plantation,
Right.
which is a message to everybody of all ethnicities and all colors, because if you get dependency on the government, there's nothing left for you to develop. Now, you look at the
hoping to make a change, and I appreciate your help in making that happen as well. And I appreciate you hopping in the back seat for an interview. That's awesome.
You bet, and I appreciate you letting me do this. And folks, whoever, if you see this online, this is the guy to vote for. This is the guy to make a change. You know, we had a guy that ran on hope and change, and most people joked it's all that's left in their pockets change.
Yeah.
So here's a chance for you and people like John Andrews, who's already formally on his website endorsing him, and I would say the same. You have a guy that will look to the limited government, look to the Constitution, and try to empower people.
Yeah.
You know, folks, we've been empowering government. Now it's time to empower
Power to people. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Appreciate it a whole bunch, and we'll see you guys on the next interview.